The mining station Helios 9 floated alone in a dark corner of human space. It was not a place for kindness. It was a place of metal, dust, broken machines, and tired people who worked long shifts. Just to survive, cargo ships arrived or ships left. And anything useless was thrown away. That was the Rule 1 cold shift cycle. A cargo hauler docked at Bay 3. Dock workers opened the rear hatch, expecting crates of raw, or instead, they found a small figure hiding between broken cargo containers. She was thin and silent, her skin carried a faint silver glow, and her dark eyes watched everything carefully. She looked like a young girl, but she was not human. One worker stepped back in surprise. "What is that?" Another laughed. "Looks like some alien." Stowaway. Within minutes, security guards arrived. They surrounded the girl as if she were dangerous, even though she only stood quietly among the cargo. The station supervisor soon followed. He was a large, tired man who had seen too many problems and had no patience left. He looked at the alien girl for only a few seconds before making his decision. No registry, no contract, no species record, worthless. He turned to Ward. The guards throw it out with the scrap. Some workers hesitated. It was still a child, but no one spoke. In the outer mining colonies, compassion could cost a person their job. The guards grabbed the girl and dragged her across the docking floor. She did not scream, she did not resist, she only watched, her glowing eyes quietly observing every person who turned away from her. They reached the disposal hatch, where broken tools, ruined drones and twisted metal were dumped into space. The hatch opened slowly, revealing the endless black beyond. Cold starlight filled the corridor. The guards pushed a pile of scrap aside and threw the girl on top of it. "Stay there, trash." One of them pressed the release control. The magnetic field turned off. The entire pile of junk drifted out of the station and into open space. The hatch closed. Inside the station, the workers returned to their duties. The alien girl was forgotten almost immediately. Out in the silent darkness, the scrap floated slowly around her. Broken panels, bent pipes, dead engines. She drifted among them like another piece of abandoned metal. For a long time, she did nothing. Her body floated quietly while distant stars reflected in her silver eyes. Then something began to change. A faint glow appeared beneath her skin. At first it was soft, almost invisible. Then it grew. Brighter thin lines of light spread across her arms and neck, like living veins. The metal around her trembled. Tiny screws, bolts and wires lifted slowly into the air. The girl closed her eyes. More scrap pieces began drifting toward her, drawn by an invisible force. Panels snapped together. Wires twisted into new shapes. Broken engines hummed as energy flowed through them again. The pile of junk was no longer drifting, it was assembling. Hours passed in silent space. Piece by piece, the debris transformed. Metal plates fused together. Energy cores formed from shattered power cells. Thrusters rebuilt themselves from discarded machinery. At the center of it all floated the glowing alien girl. She raised one small hand. The scrap responded. Instantly, faster now, more precise, more powerful. The floating junk field slowly became something impossible. A ship, not a normal ship, something alive. Its hull moved like liquid metal, constantly reshaping itself. Energy flowed through the structure. Like a heartbeat deep inside the forming vessel, the alien girl opened her eyes. They shone like bright stars. Back on Helios 9, a young mechanic named Elias sat alone in the observation ring. He was checking maintenance signals when one of the sensors suddenly flashed red. Unknown mass forming outside station perimeter. Elias frowned and pulled the display closer. That should not be possible. He ran another scan. The signal grew stronger. Something large was forming within the scrap field that had been ejected hours earlier. Elias stood and walked to the window. At first he thought it was a sensor error, then he saw it. The scrap was moving, shaping itself into a massive structure. He whispered in disbelief, "That girl inside the station." Alarms suddenly began to sound. Unidentified vessel approaching. Security teams rushed through the corridors. Dock workers stopped their machines. The supervisor entered the command room and stared at the main screen. What in the stars is that? The strange ship slowly moved closer to the station. It looked like it had been built from thousands of broken machines, but it was far more advanced than anything humans had ever constructed. The vessel stopped just outside weapon range. Then every screen inside the station flickered. The same image appeared everywhere. The alien girl. She floated calmly inside a glowing chamber of living metal. Her silver eyes looked directly at the people watching her. Her voice filled the station speakers. "You called me trash." No one moved. The command room was silent. Workers stared at the screens with fear and confusion. "You threw me away." Her voice remained calm. "But where I come from, nothing is waste. Everything becomes something new outside the station." The ship expanded. Panels unfolded like wings. Energy surged across its surface. Then something incredible happened. The girl raised her hand. Instantly, every damaged system inside the station reacted. Broken machines began repairing themselves. Old pipes sealed. Cracked hull plates fused together. Power grids stabilized. Lights brightened. Even ancient mining equipment that had been abandoned years earlier suddenly restarted. The workers watched in shock. She was repairing the entire station. Elias stared at the screens in amazement. "She is helping us in the command center." The supervisor sat frozen in his chair. He could barely speak. Why would she help us?" The answer echoed through the station speakers. "Because you still have time to learn." Outside, streams of shining particles flowed from the alien ship. They spread across the station, improving every structure, strengthening every weak system. Within minutes, Helios 9 had become stronger, more efficient, and more advanced than it had ever been. The alien girl lowered her hand. Her glowing eyes softened slightly. "Many worlds have thrown me away. Many people believed I was worthless, but every place that rejected me became stronger after I left." She paused. "Perhaps that is my purpose, to rebuild what others abandon, to transform what others call trash." The massive ship slowly turned away from the station. Its engines glowed with quiet silver light. Elias placed his hand against the observation window. "Thank you for..." A brief moment, the girl looked directly toward the observation ring. Then the ship accelerated. In a flash of silver energy, it vanished into the endless sea of stars. The mining station remained silent for a long time. After the supervisor, who once called her trash, never forgot what he had seen, and the workers told the story to every traveler who passed through. Helios 9, the story of the alien girl who had been thrown away like garbage. The girl who turned scrap into a miracle. The girl who proved that even the things people discard can become something powerful. All they need is the chance to become something greater.